attention. But with that, let's also shift our attention and tell you what's happening in the markets, because the stock markets are trading in the red. Sensex is down over 500 points and it is below 75,000 mark. Nifty has also fallen over 150 points and it is trading at around 23,460. So markets are in the red. That's what we're looking at currently. The Middle East tensions being one of the biggest factors. We're looking at a lot of sell-off that's taking place in the markets. The Sensex is down by over 500 points. Let's go across to my colleague Ashesha joining us on the broadcast. Ashesha, good morning, and we're seeing red in the markets again. What is the biggest trigger for what we're looking at in the markets?
Well, yes, we are seeing some bit of decline yet again for Indian equity markets, with Nifty now nearing that 23,470 mark. In fact, it has fallen below that 23,500 mark, and several factors continue to remain at play. One, of course, is the Indian rupee, which has hit another fresh record low in today's trading session. It is the third consecutive time this week that we are seeing a fresh record low for the Indian rupee. So that clearly continues to remain a concern. There's still a lot of uncertainty on the geopolitical front. We have had no respite when it comes to the Strait of Hormuz blockade, and we haven't had any concrete substance that has come through from President Trump and Xi Jinping's meeting last week. So clearly, there's a lot of uncertainty on the geopolitical front. All prices continue to escalate. Brent crude is now trading at $111 per barrel. After some respite that we saw yesterday, they've started inching higher yet again. So clearly, everything that is happening on the geopolitical front continues to remain a concern, with rupee at a fresh record low, and that is why we are seeing some bit of pressure on Indian equity markets in trade today.
Okay, all right. So what you're telling us is that, again, we're seeing a new low for the Indian currency. Rupee is down by 33 paise against the dollar. So the rupee is currently at 96.86 against the dollar, down over 7% this year. So, Ashesha, that's very concerning. It's been 7% down in the year. And also, I want to ask you on whether it's the same story considering the Middle East tensions. Is it the same story of markets bleeding all over the world globally?
Well, yes, most Asian markets have opened in the red yesterday, and US markets too have been under pressure for quite some time. And since we are talking about the Indian rupee, that Indian rupee, remember, has been the worst performing currencies on a year-to-date basis within the emerging market basket. And we've seen a lot of depreciation on a year-to-date basis, with which you rightly mentioned, rupee is now at about 96.8 versus the US dollar. Several factors at play for the Indian rupee. One, of course, is expensive oil, which we continue to purchase, and we have to pay in Indian rupees and US dollar for that, because of which our foreign exchange reserves continue to remain impacted. FPI outflows continue to remain a concern, because at a time like this, dollar is a safe haven. So investors usually prefer safe haven assets and investing in currencies like the US dollar, and that is also one of the reasons why Indian rupee has been depreciating over the last few days.
Okay, all right. And the uncertainty still continues, because from the United States, on one hand, you have Trump saying that talks are going on well. On the other hand, the US Vice President has said that US is locked and loaded. So we don't know what could happen, which is why the uncertainty also continues. Ashesha, thank you so much for joining us on the broadcast and putting things into perspective. With that, it's time for us to slip into a very quick break here. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.